All right, loyal Pats fans. Before we talk about Tom Brady's secret for Drake Maye, let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the wrecking ball on the defensive line. K'Lavon Chaisson has absolutely transformed into the monster we always knew he could be. When you think about what truly makes championship defenses great, you think of that one player who can single-handedly disrupt an entire game plan. That is exactly what Chaisson has become for us this postseason, and the numbers don't lie. They scream dominance. Listen to this. 3 sacks leading our entire team during these playoffs. And get this, 14 pressures on opposing quarterbacks. According to Next Gen Stats, that's the second highest pressure rate in the entire league during this playoff run. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Chaisson is tied for the league lead in what they call quick pressures, those lightning-fast disruptions that happen in under 2.5 seconds. He's got 6 of those bad boys. That explosive first step, that relentless motor, that's what's kept our secondary clean and forced quarterbacks into making the kind of mistakes that turn games into blowouts. Now let me take you back to March of last year. The front office, in their infinite wisdom, signed Chaisson to a 1-year, $3 million deal. $3 million? That's lunch money in today's NFL. And what did this man do? He absolutely obliterated any expectations anyone had. The former 2020 20th overall pick came to Foxborough with something to prove, and boy did he prove it. 7.5 sacks during the regular season, 2 forced fumbles that completely changed momentum in critical games, 10 tackles for loss that stopped drives dead in their tracks, and 23 quarterback pressures that made opposing offensive coordinators lose sleep at night. He's second on our team in both sacks and quarterback hits, which tells you everything you need to know about the value this organization gets from smart signings. But here's the plot twist that makes this story even more incredible. We've been doing all of this without our regular season sack leader, Harold Landry III. Landry's been dealing with a knee injury that kept him completely off the field during the AFC Championship game and limited him to just 11 snaps in the divisional round. When your top pass rusher goes down, most teams would crumble. Not us. Not this year. Chaisson stepped into that void like he was born for it. Remember that game against the Houston Texans? I know you do, because that Marcus Jones pick 6 is already legendary. But let's talk about what created that play. Chaisson was in C.J. Stroud's face all game long, giving him no time to breathe, no time to think, forcing him into rush decisions. On that specific play, Chaisson's relentless pursuit forced Stroud into throwing that desperate arcing ball that Jones took to the house. That wasn't just a great defensive play. That was a momentum-shifting, game-changing, season-defining moment. And it all started with number 55 collapsing that pocket. If you're loving this deep dive into Patriots football and want more insider analysis, hit that subscribe button right now. We're bringing you the most passionate, detailed coverage of your New England Patriots anywhere on the internet. Now, let's look ahead to Sunday. Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks are standing between us and that 7th Lombardi trophy. The game plan is crystal clear. We need to get after Darnold and get after him early. The analytics tell a fascinating story here. When Darnold has a clean pocket, when he's got time to survey the field and make his reads, he's actually elite, posting a 91.7 Pro Football grade. That's legitimately top-tier quarterback play. But, and this is a massive but, when you put pressure on him, when you force him to make quick decisions under duress, that grade absolutely plummets to 49.3, ranking him 26 in the entire NFL. That's the difference between an all-pro and a backup. Now, Seattle has done a decent job protecting him this season. He's only been pressured on about 34.5% of his dropbacks, which is actually pretty good in today's NFL. But we've got history on our side here, people. Cast your minds back to 2019, Monday Night Football, Sam Darnold versus the Patriots defense. That was the game where Darnold admitted on the sideline that he was seeing ghosts out there. Our defense had him so rattled, so confused, so completely overwhelmed that he literally couldn't process what was happening. If Chaisson and this unit can replicate even 70% of that pressure, especially with Landry's status still in the air, we're in prime position to bring that trophy back home to New England where it belongs. Chaisson himself is staying humble and hungry, calling this matchup against Seattle's offense exciting and challenging, while making sure to credit his teammates for his recent success. That's the kind of leadership and team-first mentality that defines championship rosters. This defense leads the entire NFL in sacks this postseason, and Chaisson is the tip of that spear. He's become the closer we needed, the X factor that every championship team has to have. Sunday is his stage, and I have zero doubt he's going to dominate. Let's go. All right, let's shift gears and talk about the man under center, the future of this franchise, the kid who's got ice in his veins and the weight of an entire legacy on his shoulders. Drake Maye is about to do something that only one other quarterback in Patriots history has ever done. And you know exactly who I'm talking about. As Maye prepares to lead us into Super Bowl 60, he's not just playing for a championship, he's playing to cement himself as the rightful successor to the greatest quarterback to ever live, Tom Brady. Let me paint the picture of this journey for you because it's absolutely remarkable. Just 2 years ago, Maye was a rookie struggling through a brutal 4-13 season. The growing pains were real, the losses were painful, and there were moments where even the most optimistic among us wondered if we had made the right choice. Fast forward to today, and that same kid is now an MVP finalist leading us to the Super Bowl. The transformation has been nothing short of miraculous, and recently, Maye revealed exactly what helped accelerate his development: direct mentorship from the GOAT himself. In a recent interview, Maye opened up about his conversations with Tom Brady, and let me tell you, the advice he received is pure gold. Brady told him something beautifully simple, yet profoundly powerful. There are no shortcuts. Think about that for a second. The man who won 7 Super Bowls, who played until he was 45 years old, who is universally recognized as the greatest winner in NFL history, his core philosophy boils down to those 4 words: no shortcuts, just hard work, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Brady emphasized that the proof is in the pudding, meaning your results speak louder than any words ever could. For a young quarterback about to face the biggest moment of his career, hearing that from Brady has been absolutely foundational. Maye isn't looking for easy answers or quick fixes. He's embracing the grind, putting in the film study, perfecting his mechanics, and leading this team with the kind of maturity that usually takes quarterbacks a decade to develop. The evolution we've witnessed has been the story of the entire NFL over the past 2 seasons. Week after week during that rookie year, you could see the incremental improvements, the growing confidence, the developing chemistry with his receivers. All of that groundwork exploded in 2025, catapulting him into legitimate MVP consideration. Let's be crystal clear about something. Drake Maye is not a game manager. He's not a system quarterback riding the coattails of a great defense. He's the engine of this entire operation. His ability to extend plays with his legs, his arm strength to make every throw on the field, his poise in the pocket under pressure, all of that is what's driven this team from 4-13 to Super Bowl contenders. That rookie season, as painful as it was to watch at times, taught him lessons that you simply cannot learn in winning seasons. Every loss, every mistake, every moment of adversity forged him into the leader we see today. And when you combine those hard-earned lessons with Brady's mentorship, you get something special. The stakes on Sunday couldn't possibly be higher. If Maye leads us to victory, he won't just be adding his name to the history books as a champion. He'll be doing something that creates a bridge between 2 eras of Patriots dominance. Brady's influence on this franchise is eternal. You feel it in the hallways. You see it in the standards we hold ourselves to. You hear it in the way coaches talk about preparation and excellence. But Maye isn't trying to be Brady 2.0. He's carving out his own path while respecting the blueprint that was laid before him. Think about Brady's career for a moment. 23 years, 2 complete dynasties in New England, 6 rings in Foxborough, and a 7th in Tampa. That's not just a career, that's a mythology. Maye is now positioned to be the face of what could be the third wave of Patriots dominance, a new dynasty for a new generation. The no-shortcuts mentality is about to be tested against an absolutely fierce Seattle Seahawks defense that's been dominant all season long. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to have exotic coverage schemes. They're going to try everything they can to rattle this young quarterback. But here's what Seattle doesn't understand. This kid has already been through hell and back. He's already failed, learned, and grown in ways that most quarterbacks never experience. He's got an MVP caliber season proving he belongs among the elite, and he's got the wisdom of the greatest winner in football history echoing in his mind. When the pressure is at its peak, when the moment is the biggest, that's when champions are born. Drake Maye is ready to claim his place in Patriots lore, to join Brady as the only quarterback to lead this franchise to a Super Bowl title. The torch isn't just being passed, it's being earned. And Sunday is the day we all witness history in the making. All right, Patriots Nation, it's time to talk about something that has absolutely infuriated me and should infuriate every single one of you. The Pro Football Hall of Fame just made a decision so baffling, so completely indefensible, that it sparked outrage across the entire football world. Both Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, the 2 architects of the greatest dynasty in NFL history, have been excluded from this year's Hall of Fame class. Let that sink in for a moment. The owner and coach who built a dynasty that won 6 Super Bowls together were both left on the outside looking in. It's absolutely mind-boggling. For Robert Kraft, this rejection marks the 14th year he's been eligible for the Hall of Fame. 14 years! This was actually the first time we'd even progressed past the committee phase to become one of the final 5 candidates in the coach, contributor, senior category, which should tell you something about how difficult this process has been for him. Despite getting further than ever before, he still couldn't secure the 40 votes required from the 50-member committee for induction. Instead, the committee decided to move forward with a veteran player, either Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, or L.C. Greenwood, all deserving in their own right, but come on, we're talking about Robert Kraft here. The question burning in everyone's mind is simple. Why? What possible justification exists for keeping these men out? The speculation has been all over the map, and none of it makes any sense when you look at the actual facts. Some analysts have suggested that voters have been cooled by various controversies and scandals that have touched the organization over the years. Others point to what they perceive as excessive political lobbying on Kraft's behalf, as if campaigning for recognition somehow disqualifies you from receiving it. These excuses are weak, they're insufficient, and they completely ignore the mountain of evidence sitting right in front of everyone's faces. Let's talk about the on-field resume, because that's what actually matters. In 1994, Robert Kraft purchased the New England Patriots, a franchise that was struggling, directionless, and frankly irrelevant in the grand scheme of the NFL. What he built over the next 3 decades is nothing short of extraordinary. Under his leadership, with Belichick as his coach and Brady as his quarterback, this team became the gold standard of professional football. 6 Super Bowl victories in the salary cap era, an achievement that seems almost impossible given how parity is built into the modern NFL structure. 9 Super Bowl appearances total, sustained excellence year after year after year. The transformation from a struggling franchise to the premier operation in all of professional sports didn't happen by accident. It happened because of vision, leadership, and an unwavering commitment to winning. Want to stay updated on all the latest Patriots news and analysis? Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're your home for passionate, no-nonsense coverage of everything Patriots. The snub of Bill Belichick is equally outrageous. While the specific reasons for his exclusion this year remain somewhat mysterious, you cannot argue against a coaching resume that includes 9 Super Bowl appearances and 6 championships with one franchise. Belichick revolutionized defensive scheming. He mastered the art of situational football. He consistently got more out of his rosters than anyone thought possible. The phrase "do your job" became a mantra not just for the the Patriots, but for organizations across all sports. The hoodie became iconic. The press conferences became legendary. The wins piled up year after year after year, and somehow, some way, the Hall of Fame looked at all of that and said, not yet. The timing of this news breaking is almost poetic in its irony. Here we are, just days away from the Patriots competing in their 11th Super Bowl appearance under Kraft's ownership, and the Hall of Fame decides this is the perfect moment to reject both of them. It's like the universe is setting up the ultimate response. While the voters sit in their committees debating whether these men deserve their gold jackets, the legacy they built is being celebrated in real time on the biggest stage in sports. This current new age Patriots team, built on the foundation that Kraft and Belichick established, is one win away from adding a 7th Lombardi trophy to a case that exists entirely because of these two men. Let me make something absolutely clear to the Hall of Fame voters who might be listening. Your rejection doesn't diminish their legacy one single bit. Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick have already cemented themselves as the most successful owner-coach combination in NFL history. The banners hanging in Gillette Stadium don't care about your votes. The rings on their fingers don't need your validation. The millions of Patriots fans around the world know exactly what these men accomplished, and no committee snub can ever change that reality. But here's what this snub does do. It exposes the Hall of Fame process as flawed, political, and frankly disconnected from what actually matters in football. When you can build a dynasty that spans 2 decades, transform a struggling franchise to the model organization, win 6 championships in an era specifically designed to prevent dynasties, and still get rejected, something is fundamentally broken. The Hall of Fame is supposed to honor greatness, not gatekeep it based on petty controversies or personal feelings about how someone campaigns for recognition. As we prepare for Super Bowl 60, as we watch Drake Maye try to become the next great Patriots quarterback, as we see K'Lavon Chaisson dominate on the defensive line, remember that none of this happens without the vision of Robert Kraft and the coaching genius of Bill Belichick. They built this. They sustained this. They created a culture of excellence that continues even as the faces change. The Hall of Fame might not be ready to recognize that yet, but trust me, they will be. Eventually, the weight of the evidence becomes too overwhelming to ignore. For now, let's focus on what really matters, bringing home that 7th trophy and proving once again why the New England Patriots are the greatest franchise in NFL history. Let's go!